Hi, my name is Brissa Ochoa,
My name is Esmeralda Cortez.
and in this video, we're gonna be doing our reading reflection portfolio questions together, and we're gonna be interviewing one another. So this class is about helping college students get better at reading and writing and more confident in it. We finished the reading unit already, and we're starting the writing unit in our class, but the reading unit assignments consisted of us reading scholarly sources and then writing reading journals, and in the reading journals it consisted of doing our citations, and then we also had to write a summary of what the article was about, and then also a process reflection of what we learned.
Yeah, I'd say this class was to help us improve with our reading and writing, especially with the MLA format. I feel like I've been improving with the MLA format. And for our final assignment, we've been working on our annotated bibliography for the past 2 weeks, where we basically summarized the readings and we came up with our own analysis. Like, we wrote our reflections or our opinions on how we felt while reading it. Like, we also provided our introduction and we also cited all our sources. Okay, to start this off, we're going to be asking each other how we felt about the class. So, how did you feel about the class so far?
I think it was stressful with the assignments were like happening, but I think once it would get over with, I felt good about it. So
No, me too. Like, at first, I was kind of confused, and now I'm kind of getting the hang of it, even though I'm still a bit confused. It's been getting easier throughout the weeks. So, how did you practice using critical thinking skills in like this part of the reading and writing process?
I would reread the stories, and then I would highlight what I thought would be helpful when like key ideas, and then I analyzed by rereading my story like over and over again, and then I would like as I was reading, I would highlight like key ideas or like key points that I thought would be like helpful when I was gonna do my assignments. So I would like have them on the side and like there written on my journal or like highlighted.
Yeah, I would also do the same thing. I would highlight, also use like color coding. I would use like, let's say, a blue highlighter to highlight like the words that I didn't know the definition of. And then I would highlight the most important part with like a yellow highlighter, and then I would like write my annotations beside it. And so I think that's how I practice my critical thinking skills, along with also rereading the whole article to see if I didn't leave out any words that I didn't know, or like leave out any of the important stuff, because usually when I like read through the first time, I don't really understand it, but when I read it the second time, like, I understand it better and I have more annotations to come up with. So how did you use your oral communication skills in class? Like, did you participate in the questions or did you ask for help?
I really spoke or like presented in class, but I did as like privately ask like the professor like when I was confused about something, so I would ask her like, is this like the correct way to do stuff, and like just about like the assignments.
Yeah, I would also say I didn't really spoke in class that much, especially when as a participation in general. But I feel like I practice these skills by talking with my peers, especially when we were receiving our feedback or when we needed help on something. And especially with us, like me, you, and Sadie, like, we really spoke in class during the assignments and asked each other for help.
So what about like your written like communication? Like how did your writing improve?
I feel like my writing improved because before I used to be so illiterate. Like, my writing wouldn't really make sense when I would try to like type it out, especially in high school, because I would kind of slack off during reading, and I wouldn't really practice my reading skills because our teachers were like, we're not really on our butts. Like, they wouldn't push us to actually complete the assignments and do well in class, compared to this class where we actually have to do our best, especially because we're in college and we actually have to get credit for this class too in order to pass it. And so I'd say my writing definitely improved because, like, I'm not procrastinating as much as in high school, and I'm actually trying to complete my assignments now. So I feel like by doing that, I'm actually improving with my writing because I actually get to practice it like a lot in this class.
No, for me the same thing. Like I think my writing improved with grammar and like punctuation a lot, because I think before like I would use a lot of like grammar that was like not even supposed to be there, and punctuation, my bad. And then yeah, like I think like as I would get like feedback from like the teacher and everything, I started learning more about like where like stuff should go and everything. So I think that's how my writing has improved.
Yeah, that's what I also like, that in this class we also get feedback. Did you use or respond to visuals like during the assignments or anything in general?
Um, I did the graphic organizers. Like I would use the graphic organizers by the teacher, and I would respond to them by answering like the questions that she would put on there. So I would use those, and then I would also use like the examples that she would provide us, so I can like compare it to my assignments and see if I was doing it correctly.
Yeah, I could say like in How Writing Happens by Zach DePerro and Ryan Diprey, they included visuals such as like how Zach would annotate on his notes, and it would be like really messy because it was a draft. So he would include that in his notes, and it gave me an idea to like just write out all my thoughts on notes, because we carry our phone everywhere and we have like random ideas that pop up. So we could just open the notes app and like write down our ideas from there. Another visual that I saw was like Zach's thoughts written on a dry erase board. Like it was all messy as well, but it was just basically like him brainstorming, and it also like inspired me to like go to Home Depot. Like I actually went to Home Depot and bought a dry erase board so I can use it at home.
Did you work with like classmates or give feedback to like any classmates?
Yeah, so I actually really liked receiving feedback and giving feedback, because at first, I don't know, I was kind of iffy about the part where people were gonna revise and check my work, because like my work is obviously not perfect. And critique, I'm not really easy on critique, because I don't know, like it depends on how I take it. But honestly, in class it felt easy. It wasn't really that bad, honestly. The first time it wasn't that bad. The second time it was actually a little bit better. I actually got like actual feedback and we went over it. I feel like reading our annotated bibliographies like out loud to each other really pointed out mistakes and like the grammar, which was like really helpful, I'd say.
No, in class I worked with, I like when we would do in class activities, I would work with classmates, like you for example, and like even us like right now, like we're doing an activity and we're doing teamwork, and when I would give feedback, like for like our assignments for our annotated assignment, um, yeah, I liked receiving the feedback because it was nice to see how my writing looked from like someone else's point of view, and I just thought it was like really like nice to see like the feedback that they were giving me and like how I can improve in my writing. So for your personal responsibility, how did you manage your time or make like thoughtful choices?
Honestly, in the first few weeks, I wasn't really punctual with my schedule. I would honestly slack off in the first week. So I feel like now I'm doing way better than I was doing in the first week. Like I'm actually trying to turn in my assignments on time, trying to do them good, trying to make sure they don't have any mistakes before turning them in.
Yeah, for me too, like mostly like I started managing my time by like the day like it was assigned, I would try to read a little bit, but like I would often like procrastinate, and like I would read it and then I'll be like, "Ugh, I don't want to read it." So then I would like try to read it, and then like I would highlight stuff and then go back, read it again when I could, and then I would do my outline as well, starting like during the week, and then finding like when it was Thursday, I would start my assignment, so I would have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday, and I would put like an alarm like at 11:50 p.m. so I can make sure to turn it in on time, and that's how like I would manage my time. So.
Wait, that's really good. I really like how you said you started your assignments on Thursday so that you could have like the whole weekend to work on it, which is like a really good time management. I would say that procrastination also was a big factor, not only in this class but in general, like in all my classes. I would procrastinate a lot. I would like move my assignments to the side. I would try to do like the ones that were the most easiest ones, and I would say, oh, I would do the hardest ones later, but then later became like the day of the due date, and that was really stressful for me because I felt overwhelmed as I was trying to submit the assignments. Like even though I end up submitting the assignments, I still feel kind of stressed. Like I don't like the process of knowing that I have something submitted that same day. Like I don't like the stress, the anxiety I feel. So how did you plan or draft during the reading process?
So for planning, I would write down like stuff that I thought was important. So I would like add like notes like on like a journal I would write, and I said I would also highlight stuff that I found like that would be useful for me. And then like I would plan my stuff by like making an outline of everything. Like I would say like okay, like I can start my paragraph like this, and I can include like these certain stuff. And then like reading, like I would just read, and then I like highlight and like just like give like annotations of what I thought of the paragraphs. So that's how I would plan and read.
Yeah, I also did the same thing. What I also did was like write my random thoughts. Like while planning, I would like literally brainstorm and write everything down in my computer or like on a piece of paper. And it would be like so messy, like all scrambled, sometimes gibberish because like at the moment, like when I'm writing, I forget the spelling of some certain words, so it's all messy. But then like when I get home, like I read everything I wrote, which makes it easier for me, especially because when I feel lazy to do something, I remember that I have actually written stuff on my journal or like on my Word document as like some ideas to support my sentences. How did you revise or use feedback?
I revised I would use a grammar check to like revise and make sure everything was good. And then I would also, for feedback, like I would see the teachers, like the professor's feedback when she would like return my assignments, and from there like I would make the corrections that I needed to do. So I would use that to like make my assignments better.
So for me, on the day of submission, I would literally have my sister try to revise my work because she's really good at English. She's actually really good in her classes. So I would ask her whenever she's awake, obviously, to check my work. And since she's my sister, she was obviously brutally honest with the feedback, which I obviously took it in the right way. Like I didn't really mind because it's coming from my sister. She's being honest, and that's what I like. That's why I like to show her my work so that she could be the first one to critique it before anyone else. So how did you think about your audience?
As I was like writing my stuff, like when I would go back to reread like what I was writing, I would often just like imagine that I was the professor, and like I would just like be like, okay, like what would she think about this? So it was basically like that's how I was starting to think of. That was how I would think of my audience.
Yeah, I would also say the same thing. I would try to pick out my target audience because I don't want I was also thinking from my audience point of view, like I don't want my writing to sound too boring to them or too illiterate to them. So I would honestly try to write it, like to basically have a hook that relates to the audience so that they would stay reading my assignment instead of like getting bored of it. And I feel like I'm kind of still working on it.
So how would you do your research or ask questions?
So I would only use research to search up like the meaning of words that I didn't know of, and I would also search up some phrases because the authors would sometimes use like similes, metaphors, and other stuff to like explain their writing, and sometimes it would kind of be confusing, so I would search them up what the author actually meant to say. And I feel like that made it easier to read because I now like understand what the author was trying to say. So I feel like research really did an effect on this because like I feel like now I can understand the text better by doing that.
For me, asking questions, like I would ask the professor questions when it came to like the formatting and everything, and then also like when I didn't understand something as well, like I would search up like what a certain word meant or like what like the author was talking about in the story, so I can try to understand like okay, like get a clue what the story was gonna be about or like what it was about. So like as I was reading, I can be like okay, like now I understand what they meant by this or what they were like saying in like a paragraph.
How has your disposition towards learning changed?
I think I'm more confident now because I know what to expect in an English class now, like a college English class. I also think I'm less like full of like anxious, I guess, because in the beginning like I was very stressed when it came to like when we had the first reading journal because I didn't understand what I was supposed to do. And then I like as I go now I know like what to expect and what to expect from my assignments basically, and what to expect like when it comes to grading and like everything like deadlines and all that. So I think I'm more confident and more like that I think I can do it now. So
Yeah, I would say the same thing. I feel like for next semester it would be much easier to approach like even more complex texts because like right now we're just practicing for like our future courses.
what are you still wondering about like when you're reading or you're writing or like your thinking process? Like, do you have any questions about it or no?
I honestly wonder when like reading and writing would be like easier for me. Like right now, I wouldn't say that I'm struggling, but I would say that I at least I'm getting better. And I wonder if I'll actually be able to improve in the future and not like struggle while doing my assignments.
I don't think I really have any other questions. Like, I think just writing when it comes to writer's block, but I think that's gonna be something that's unsolved because I've tried like many different ways to like get out of writer's block. When I have it, like I'm just like that. Like I just don't want to do it. So I try to like. Usually, what I've been doing is I just take a break and I distract myself. I either like clean my area because I know like a clean area helps me focus, or like I just do something like I eat or something just to like distract myself and take a break. But like there's sometimes where that doesn't work, so I just have a question of like if there's ever a way to get rid of it. But like every technique that I've like read online, it doesn't help me. So.
Oh yeah, I also relate to that. So that concludes our podcast. Thank you for listening.